Good morning. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to talk today about broken people and the walking wounded. I got into a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, another coach, and it was one of those things where whenever she and I get together, we just talk and talk and talk for hours, and we have great conversations. And one of the things that I said was, I'm meeting with a lot of broken people, and she was like, "Well, Star, people aren't broken. Why do people think they're broken? They're not broken." And I understand what she's saying. I get it. There's a perception that, oh my God, if I've gone through a breakup, I'm broken and I'm imperfect somehow. And that was even my friend's point, was she was like, everybody is perfect. They're perfect with what they're going through, and they have this perfection about them. And I get it. I do. And when you're going through a breakup, you don't feel that way. You feel broken. You feel as though, what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? Why couldn't he love me the way I wanted him to love me? There's so many things that you go through. And so I would say to you that yes, and this one pisses people off when I tell them that, is that right where you are is where you need to be. And you may feel as though you're broken, but you're really not. It's going from a breakdown to a breakthrough. And as painful as the emotions are when you're going through a breakup or divorce, there's a couple of things to remember. Number one is the pain will not last forever. I promise you this. I had somebody today tell me that they woke up and just the pain was there again, and that's going to happen. It really is. It's going to happen. You'll be okay one day, and then something will trigger you, and it comes back. And what you need to do in those moments is let it be. So often we really want to fix the pain, or we want to get away from the pain. But I will tell you a couple of things, is that you have to let it be. And that means two things. That means allow the pain to exist. Give it air. Let it be there. And don't do anything about it. Leave it alone. Let it be. Because, number one, you have to let it be there because it needs to see the light of day. And it sucks, and it's painful, and I get that. But the only way to get through it is to walk through it. And so you have to allow the pain to exist rather than stuffing it down or covering it up with something that will make you feel better. Now, that doesn't mean you have to wallow in it. It doesn't mean that you have to stay there. But acknowledge that it's there. Because otherwise, anything else you try to do is going to perpetuate it. And that's what people like divorce coaches are here for, is to help you walk through that pain. To help you understand that that pain is there for a reason, and you got to heal it. Because if you ignore it, it only gets worse, and it only perpetuates. And it shows up in ways that you don't even imagine. In my case, it was going through relationship after relationship after relationship, and a marriage, because I didn't want to feel the pain of rejection anymore. And at the end of the day, I still had to deal with it. I still had to look at that pain, and I still had to decide whether I was going to be defined by it or not, whether I was going to allow my behavior in resistance to that pain to continue. And I had to decide no. So let it exist. Let it be there. and then don't do anything about it. Just because you feel an emotion doesn't mean you have to react to it. One of my favorite exercises, and I want you to try this, is look at that pain as a part of you, but not the core of you. Ask that pain to step back, or give it a time limit and say, I am going to cry as hard as I can right now. I'm going to let that pain through, and I'm going to experience it and feel it for 20 minutes. And then I'm going to get up and I'm going to go outside, or I'm going to journal about it, or I'm going to call a friend and ask them to help me, or I'm going to reach out to someone who can tell me that it's going to be okay. So yes, in this moment, in this place, you may feel that you're broken, but you won't always be that way. And you can get through it. I promise. So if you need help getting through it, there's a lot of ways to get there. One of them is to call on a breakup recovery specialist like myself. And I will leave a link below for you to click on if you really need to just talk about your pain and talk about what you've gone through. Because part of your healing begins when somebody validates and accepts that you went through it. And when you feel validated, you can move on from that broken place. But know that each and every day, no matter what, you are worthy of your own love and your own attention. And things will get better. I promise.